And then there begins the question of if it's not us, then who? If not now, then where?
Yes,
So it's
yes,
like,
yes.
okay, we do it. So we incorporated the company in April 2021. April 2021.
Okay.
And
That's
by
okay,
August 2021, we launched the NFT marketplace.
wow, it's just 4 months.
Yeah.
Wow, it's very fast.
And we were so fortunate that we received a very good support from the community. And yeah, the rest is history, Jen.
Ah, amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think just to really share with everyone, a lot of like business ideas, entrepreneurship really start from Mama lah. I think in Malaysia, everyone just go to
Especially if
Mama.
you're Malaysian.
Yeah, just talk about it. But I think what makes like use difference is basically like really kick the ball rolling and really start to do some things. Right? I think we just 4 months to launch a platform. It's damn amazing, man. Even from our perspective, I think we really took like almost a year to build our platform. I think that's really like kudos to you and the Pentas teams.
Yeah, Pentas team.
And then we will hope to invite all of you in the Zoom meeting link to really try out Pentas as well. I think later throughout the programs we will maybe explain a bit how everyone can take part of this initiative. So maybe we pass back to the moderator to ask some further questions.
All right, thanks for sharing with us. Sounds like it's been a pretty exciting journey and great to hear that. Yeah. So NFTs, they have been gaining quite a lot of attention in the recent years. So how would you describe the appeal on NFTs? Like, why do you think they have gained so much attention?
All right, that is a good question actually. I think when we talk about society behavior, right? Human behavior, so to speak, right? You can see a lot of people very reactive instead of active. When I say reactive, that when something happens, a lot of people are responding to that something happening, So across the board, I think almost everything, that's how it works. So when it comes to NFT, it works as similarly. One is because it's something new, So if you have someone that you've been following, like for example, they call it influencer now, or KOL, key opinion leader, talking about something that you probably haven't heard. But for example, I've been following June for the longest time. Today I'm just waiting that which shop for lunch that June gonna recommend, stuff like that. And out of sudden, June is talking about NFT. So I was like, it's intriguing, like okay, what is NFT? So in a larger scale, we're talking about suddenly when people we have people like Snoop Dogg talking about NFT, So like Logan Paul, although these two is a very controversial, I have to highlight here. And then they spoke about NFT, they spoke about NFT and they got sponsored to promote certain NFT. And now both are facing legal court case, So the reason why I'm sharing this is just because to give you highlights of how does the society behave and how does this NFT snowballing became more and more popular and something that what used to be a very unheard of now is quite common, especially in blockchain industry environment, So that's how it works actually, because you just need one or two, the so-called KOL again, to start talking about it, and then suddenly spotlight will be on it, and then the media will pick up after that, and then you have a news like somebody bought something worth 69 million, just a compilation of pictures, what is this, all the question marks, so it snowball and people get excited by this, Jun.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I think that's how personally I get into NFT as well. I think just touching on some of the points that I think Moha mentions, right, is really start off from someone start talking about it, right? Like not just the communities, not just the KOL or like celebrities, but the news is talking about it. Like there's a lot of news coming in, say for example, there's like NFT sold for X amount of prices. And like different company are trying to explore NFT technology for their own use also. So that's why I think personally I start thinking, hey, this is not just like a normal like JPEG blockchain technology, but also a lot of big brands like corporate brands, they also spend a lot of investments and try to utilize the technology to their day-to-day business, right? I think that's how I personally think that how NFT becoming like a new technology and also a trend back then. And even today also it has been proven that there's a lot of business successful use cases with it. I think maybe later we see parts of more question asked by moderator, maybe we can share a bit more on the business side.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. It's truly the power of media and word of mouth has been very powerful in promoting NFTs, I believe. So for the next question, so NFTs have been associated with profitability also, definitely. So can you share with us on how one will be able to earn money from the sales of NFTs?
All right. It backs to, thank you, that is a really good question. It backs to the very basic economy line, which is supply and demand. That's one, that's very fundamental. If you come into this environment or territory, when you trade anything, regardless whether it is something physical or this one is digital asset, right? It needs to have somewhat value in it, So when people do something, when they buy something, they're buying a value of that thing, the physical thing or a value of something, So when it comes to NFT, right, whatever that you have two sort of group of people. One is the creator, one is the buyer or so-called collectors, So whoever that create a project of NFT, right, there must be something that value to a certain extent that when they put on the marketplace, they will attract the buyer or the collectors, So some people, they bought it because they just like it, Some people see there is a value in that, Value can be subjective, but obviously most people do it because to earn some in dollars or in ringgit, So they saw this an opportunity, So they know that I know this creator. This creator is quite a well-known person or a group of people. If I were to buy this at now X amount, so just to simplify it, if I were to buy this value of digital art at 100 ringgit, for example, I know probably within 1 or 2 months it will be 200 ringgit. You know why? Because this creator, whether it can be individual or a group, maybe for example, I give you an example. The best example, if the creator is an artist, for example, right? A singer, right? So they have their own collectibles and they start selling and somebody buy it. And then they can actually rope in a little bit of like a special thing and stuff like that, like saying that if you buy now at this price, I'm going to have my concert in 2 months' time. If you have this, if you collect this, you're going to be seeing me at the backstage. So this kind of utility that people start to factor in. So the creator needs to be creative, obviously, Of course, all the creators are creative, but sometimes they need to find that age, a little bit of age, so that they can always be ahead of the game, So I hope that explains how does it work a little bit,
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with more perspective as well. I think when you're coming a new product, it's basically kind of like try to sell a business model or products to the market, right? Especially during the crypto boom era where everyone started looking at NFT, crypto, blockchains. I think there's different sort of NFT project coming out on day-to-day basis, right? I think that definitely explains, like, if you're a project owner as an NFT, you definitely have to think more towards to, like, what makes you so special as an artist. Of course, there's one. What kind of utilities can you bring to the NFT, right? Then essentially you drive out the value of these digital assets. So maybe I would like to share a bit more on the corporate side. So I think we have seen like some of the corporate like Nike, Adidas. They are like some of the biggest brand in the world, right? Even for them also, they try to use NFT, and obviously they also make a big chunk of profit from it by selling digital asset using the NFT or blockchain technology. So since then, I think that's what brings the world try to notice. Hey, NFT product, how can I take part into it? As a normal human being, maybe just we are not being to any companies, any communities. Even as a creator or just a student, you can actually start your own NFT project as well. I think that's something that we would like to empower everyone in this Zoom call and to really start thinking ahead that maybe you can, utilize Pentas platform or even our platform to the upcoming program that I think we might be share a little bit more later.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much. So, continuing from that topic, so I'd like to ask you on maybe a few measures that people can take to protect themselves against any fraud related to NFTs.
Okay, that is a really good question as well. Very, very good. Okay, because this is very important because unfortunately, as much as we are all, I would say Malaysian,
we are quite savvy, tech savvy, I would say, and then our internet literacy is one of the highest in the world, you know. But because of that also, of course, there's always some people would like to take advantage of that, you know, Jun. So when this happened, I always tell people, whenever you want to buy anything, you know, always do some research or do some read up a little bit, you know. You don't just randomly go and put in your money just because you heard somebody saying to do so and stuff like that, you know. So we believe that the first thing first, I think the fundamental before you want to collect anything, you know, we're talking about digital assets, so collectibles and stuff like that. You have to make sure that you know who came up with the project, who are the creators, you know. I'm not saying that if they are anonymous, their project is not good, you know, but then it's always better to know who's behind the project, you know, the reliability. I'm not saying that if you know somebody, the real person, the creator, that person wouldn't be lying or whatever, you know, but then the chances, it's all about mitigating the risk, minimizing the risk, you know. So whenever you want to involve in this, it's pretty much the same how you approach stock market, for example, pretty much the same how you approach any other business opportunity. You always do your homework first, you know. You want to know if this company, who runs this company, who are the CEO, who are the board of director, you know, that I'm putting my money here, you know. So this is how it works. It's the same, you know, whenever you want to do any purchase when it comes to NFT, you know, make sure that you know what you're buying and you know who came up with that, you know. So I think that is a very fundamental risk mitigation method or effort that need to be coming from the collectors or the purchasers, the buyer. Yeah.
Yes, totally agree with Mo. I think when I initially started the journey of, you know, not just about buying collectibles, but you start investing from a perspective, like, you know, just look at some of the NFT, some of the cool project out there with some cool utilities that maybe I can spend a bit of money on it. So I really like do a lot of research, like go into an NFT project, not just going to Discord, maybe go to the website, do some due diligence, like look at some of the art, like who is driving in the backseat of these projects. Because a lot of time in the digital asset space or maybe in the NFT world, a lot of them are not, they're not webbed through, they're not showing their true identity. They just create like, okay, just put a very nice face logo, say, hey, you know, my name is June, I started this NFT project.
Cool, you know, avatar.
Yeah, a cool avatar. Then I'm like, what's going on, man? Who's this guy trying to do this new project?
A little bit of profile
right now. I'm like, they're
probably from ChatGPT.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, what's going on? So those kind of profile, when you have seen it, so probably you have to like take a step back and say, hey, is it legit or not? So there's kind of like a little bit due diligence that you probably have to do in terms of like, you know, start putting your own money to buy any digital asset, any digital collectibles in the internet space lah. So that's something that I think Mo and myself also would like to advise everyone here before they step into NFT worlds or digital collectible asset. Yep.
All right, thank you very much. So there's some very good advice there. Of course, definitely hope that everyone will be able to do their own research, because with everything, definitely there will come a risk. So thank you very much. And then, so for the next question, NFTs have definitely had an impact to the art world also. So can you share with us your thoughts on some of the opportunities and challenges for artists in the NFT community?
All right, thank you. Okay, first thing first, I noticed when we started brought out this marketplace, right? We have the most common question, right, from whoever that are involved in fine art, you know, like physical art and stuff like that. They always question like, okay, how do I do this? I'm a person who drew something on canvas or whatnot, you know. And then there's also another sentiment that, oh, digital is not art. You know, like you have a group of people like this as well, you know.
Interesting.
So but then gradually we managed somehow. We saw a lot of creators who are from a traditional side. Coming on board gradually because they build the understanding and stuff like that. So to answer that question, I think knowledge is very important. You need to have an effort to actually look it up and read about all this, you know. And then I always give example because sometimes I was invited to talk at our local gallery, art gallery. So one of the world oldest auction house for artwork called Sotheby's, right? I think in 2021 alone, they recorded almost 200 million of transacted for NFT. Oh, wow. So if one of the world's oldest auction house have involved in this, so the question back to you, why not? You know, why you are not
you
doing
yourself
it?
do it?
Because big boys
yes.
Are doing it. You know, so what's stopping us? You know, I understand sometimes again it's back to the fundamental of the comprehension of understanding of how this is. You know, and sometimes I have to admit. June, we all know the entry barrier is not that easy. You know, first you gotta have your wallet.
Yes.
Oh, how do I install my wallet?
Yes.
What is wallet? You know, oh, how do I connect to the platform? How do I connect to Pentas? You know, once I have the wallet, how do I mint? You know, if they're not creator, they just want to buy. You know, okay, how do I buy? Oh, there's no ringgit or dollar sign here. You know, like, oh, I have to have my crypto balance. You know, and then it goes that where do I get my crypto? You know, see the sequence of the event. You know, so as a NFT marketplace operator, and I'm sure that you guys are involved in Metaverse, this is what we are trying to simplify, so that the new people. That whenever they intend to be part of this or to start their journey, it's easier. So we produce a lot of reading materials, and then we have collected a lot of people voluntarily come up like on TikTok, YouTube, that to teach people how do you get started, you know, how to connect your wallet, how to download your stuff. So now compared to 2 years ago, June, it's a lot easier and a lot easier and a lot of information, you know, so that you will not be far off if you wanted to start, things will be a lot easier, you know?
Yeah. I think most have raised up a very, very important point. In order for you to actually mint like an NFT, it's actually like a lot of processes.
Yeah.
Wallet itself is like, okay, how do I convert my ringgit to?
Yes.
Like for example, Ethereum, Bitcoin, or even any other cryptocurrency, just to purchase an NFT, right? I think back then, even before Pentas has a seed, I think everyone has been using other platforms like OpenSea. Yep. I think what's it called, Magic Eden. There's a few. There's a few of other one, but all of them like started off with using your own wallet. Just recently, maybe they integrated with like credit cards, but still you need some form of like, I would say, knowledge in terms of like how you're going to get an NFT, right? I think when like those days is definitely hard. I think these days, I think if you follow Mo himself on LinkedIn, on any other social media platform, you should be able to really read through some of the like thought process that Pentas and also Mo, and it has been doing a lot of education to the market, right? How exactly you can get in touch with NFT, how actually get started, what is NFT, what is blockchain, what is Metaverse, all these things. I think you can find relevant informations on our social media accounts. So I think with this technology getting more mature, I think definitely it's more easier for like artists or even anyone who want to like step inside the virtual world like Metaverse and also NFT. I think that's kind of like my take on these questions.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for the insights. So since we have touched about creators, so I would like to ask, so what legal and copyright issues surround NFTs? So basically, how can the creators protect their intellectual property in the digital space?
Okay, thank you. This is very interesting question because it's sort of like when you involve in this is the beauty of blockchain basically, like especially particularly NFT, right? The vertical of NFT, right? First thing first, when it was just recently get into the market, of course this is the biggest question mark, and then of course the some framework, legality framework is being built to govern this spectrum of industry, right? But then when we talk about blockchain, right, I think a lot of people, some of you guys probably have already familiar with it. If those who are not familiar with it, allow me to tell you this. When it comes to NFT, right, this is the part that it gives value for NFT, whereby whenever you mint, right, okay, what is minting? The process of turning into whatever digital into NFT, the process you call minting. It's like you're minting money, that's why you call it, you mint money, So stuff like that. So the process, what happened was when you completed the process, it's not complicated, it sounds complicated, but it's not complicated. It's just literally like you attach a file in your email and you attached. That's it.
Yes.
You know, as simple as that. You know, and then, so the moment when you're done with that process, right? Something called metadata. So metadata, for me to simplify it to better understanding and comprehension, is like you are given a birth certificate or your IC number. You know, so for example, June has his IC number. I have my IC number. Regardless, if I memorize June's IC number, I've wrote somewhere else, people can still trace it was June's IC number. You know, that's how NFT is. So when you mint something, you know, your digital asset, when you created something, it belongs to you. You know, it pairs to your wallet because your account, that you created something. So this is the best part when it comes to IP, to answer this question, you know, because it can prove the provenance. That means the first, from the very beginning itself, you know. So for the room for people to basically fight against you for your IP is so difficult, you know, because basically every of your work, if you as a creator, if you mint it on your platform, it's yours automatically. And this has been proven in the most recent court cases whereby people went to court when they have cases. This is the way they prove, the methodology that it shows that, because in blockchain, again, everything is recorded, it's a ledger, you know. You know, they can produce this to show their metadata, and then done, you know, because it's accepted, you can be tendered as an evidence. So it addressed that very important issue and a crucial issue of IP issues. You know, I think this is by far the most easiest way or method for you to claim your IP and everything. You know, like the moment you mint it, you know, of course, I cannot be minting June works and claim that's mine. So that's different, you know. Exactly. As long as the originality is from me, you know, whenever I mint it, automatically the IP is mine already, you know, because I can prove through the blockchain, through all the metadata once you minting, you know. So I hope this answered the question.
Yep. I think from my perspective is that I think I'm not really in depth knowledge in terms of like the legality of the NFT, but what we've seen in the market is this, if someone has come up with a project and like mimicking, for example, just like for Dragon Ball or Pokemon, I mean, the user consumer, they are not like, you know, they're not like 3 years old kids, right? They clearly know that these NFT products or this NFT digital art is kind of like mimicking some others IPs out there. So definitely it's not a smart move to actually try to steal other IPs and have their own projects, because that brings no value to all the NFT project owners, right? So from there, actually, we are rarely seeing a lot of like NFT projects.
It's easier to trace the copy, basically.
Nobody have doing it right now. Maybe in the old days, maybe like maybe I come up with like some Pokemon Go concept that look like
a spin-off a bit.
Spin-off look like Charizard, but maybe a bit different colors. But these days people don't do it anymore because they know that this thing does one jalan lah. So from that perspective, I think that really avoid people to try to steal other people's IPs to do their own NFTs lah.
Alright, okay, thank you very much for the insights. So for the last NFT question for today.
Okay, let's go.
How do you foresee the future of NFTs, and are there any particular areas of innovation that excite you?
Okay, thank you for that. All right, first thing first, allow me to share a little bit back home. When we talk about NFT, right, it falls under the pillar of digital economy, all right? In 2022, in Malaysia alone, the size of our digital economy is more than 200 billion. You guys can Google it and check at MDEC, you know, more than 200 billion. And according to MDEC, by 2025, their projection, they wanted to make it up to more than 400 billion, the size of digital economy alone. So under this digital economy, you know, there's a few pillars, and one of the pillar is blockchain. So when it comes to blockchain, involve NFT as well as Metaverse, you know. So when it comes to these questions, right, so it shows that how potentially how big it's going to be, you know, because now it's 2023, few weeks down the road is 2024. And the MDEC alone, their target by 2025, they want to have more than 400 billion of digital economy. That's one. And then for NFT particularly, you know, in 2022, it was recorded, it was worth 22 billion of the market size, all right? So 22 billion USD. So maybe again, our money is about 100 million, all right? And another interesting fact is, June, is that out of that size, they trace that the larger chunk of that, between 25 to 40% of the market share came from Southeast Asia.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
That's
that
quite
is very
surprising.
that is very interesting. So mainly because we have a neighboring country, right? Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand, and Singapore. So, but again, this is beauty about being involved in blockchain, NFT, and metaverse, because it's beyond borders.
Yes.
It's beyond borders. So whatever that you created today, not just you're not gonna if you're going to sell it, you're not going to sell it to June and Moon only, the world is your market, the world is your market, because it's a marketplace that beyond borders, So when we know this kind of statistic, June, it really excites me, like how big the economy is.
Definitely.
It's just that we don't see it that way yet, maybe because we don't see it often, or maybe we don't hear it often. But then the economic size of this is huge, June. It's so huge. So for us, if we don't take this opportunity, we are the losing side. Because again, our neighboring country alone, let's just talk about these two countries, Indonesia and Philippines. 100 million population, 270 million population. These two alone, 370 million. Plus Malaysia, 30 million, we're talking about 400 million, So sometimes we just need 1%, not even 10%, you just need 1% of people to be actively involved and participate, and trade. Can you imagine how big this is going to be,
Yes.
So for me, I know this probably doesn't happen as soon as we wanted, but it will be there, and then when it happens, we want to be there, of course,
definitely.
I mean, this is how I see things, it's huge, it's big, and for me, it's only at our loss if we don't take this opportunity, and then MDEC particularly has been putting a lot of effort, as we know that collectively right now, MDEC is working with Pentas and also with VTF to push this digital asset economy. So I believe this is the best time when you have people like us to assist you, and then also when you have government agency that trying to push this, shows that this is not something that fly by night, something that you should take it seriously, because as we know, when you talk about AI, you talk about all this new economy that coming in, right? You cannot run away from digital. When you talk about digital, how do we have a digital value? You have to have NFT to have a digital value, because it recognizes your digital piece, whatever that you produce, So see how things are interrelated, So when this thing happens, the economic size will only get bigger, as simple as that. Again, like I said, in 2022, the digital economy of Malaysia, 200 over billion, and blockchain is one of the pillar. And probably, maybe, I don't know how much blockchain worth in that 200 billion, but I'm pretty sure that by next year, by year coming, I think it will be growing.
Double up.
So, and all of you guys, those are listening, it's still early. You don't think that, I'm too late. It's gonna be like people say that I'm done. People are ahead of the game. No, I mean, all of us, we are still early. So this is an opportunity. So yeah, don't waste this opportunity. Yeah.
Definitely. I think from what just tapping on most perspective, right? I think other than the NFT markets, we also seen a lot of different, more and more successful utilities wrapping around the NFT angles, right? For example, I think earlier this year, I think Starbucks announced that they are going to NFT worlds. They have NFT cards. Basically, whoever will purchase a Starbucks or they go to a Starbucks, I think they started off in the US first, can actually get a piece of a very unique NFT design from Starbucks, right? And they created in a very limited options, right? Only probably a few thousand people can get it. So from there, become a very meaningful small gift that Starbucks have been given you, right? So that could create a lot of royalty customer, as well as to create new, not just hype, but also marketing
and
effect.
also engagement, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like what June mentioned about Starbucks. The most recent example, I think, June, is Nike. What they did was they're quite smart, June. They released their NFT collection, right? The most recent one. So if you have that NFT collection, right? If you collect one of the NFT, and then shortly after that, they release a new sneakers called Air Force, new design, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can Google this, while listening to me. how are you going to be eligible to buy that if you only have NFT?
Oh,
you know,
wow,
June?
they make it so
So
exclusive.
even if you have a lot of money, June, you're not allowed to buy without having that NFT that they released earlier. You know, so this is how big companies are doing this and using this to engage their community or their market, you know. So things have changed right now. So again, but don't forget, don't worry about, oh, that's Nike is big, that's Starbucks is big. Oh, no, I'm just a small player. I mean, everybody have to start from somewhere, you know. So what matters is that you know how to use it and you know how to you know, basically utilize the utility, you know, so to your advantage, you know. So things will happen and can be done, you know.
Yep. I think again, what we're sharing is a lot of successful, I think, case studies or use cases to really empower everyone to just kickstart something first. Like really think about the NFT angles, or maybe just put your artworks or final projects and also bring into NFT ends, right? So later, I think the MDEC grant will really help everyone to see through like what kind of things that you can do. Of course, with this grant perspective, that I can empower a project to take it to the next levels lah. I think that's how I see the industry is still growing, still evolving, even though the NFT hype is like everyone is like not really talking about NFT, but a lot of companies, brands that are utilizing the same technology to basically explore different business model and it work. Right, so from our perspective, I think we are just waiting for the right time to come. At the same time, also we are working very closely with MDEC just to empower everyone to join into the digital world. Right, I think with this exciting projects, I think we hope everyone take the opportunity to take part. And of course, if you really willing to work with us, I think we're happy to have further discussion later on. I think that should be about it. I see there's some questions. Do we want to wait for the next sessions or do we want to go through some of the questions here first?
We can, but before that, I think maybe we should just share with them the current to everyone. You guys can later check it out. Maybe I think Faz will share the link of the current digital asset onboarding program, because collectively with VTF and Pentas, so what we do is that right now MDEC has assigned Pentas to assist you guys to participate in digital asset onboarding. So basically, if you guys already, especially if you're from animation school or design school, regardless, you know, you already have ongoing project. So what you're gonna do is just go on Pentas, you mint it, you know, and then a little bit draft, a little bit about business plan and utility of your digital asset. And then you just submit, you know, because you stand an opportunity to claim up to 4,000 ringgit. So I think this is very good opportunity.
Yeah, it's very good.
And on June's end, so what happened was, if you pass the first stage, right? So this is where things get more interesting as exciting, you know, whereby you will explore into another world, you know, like, so this is where the June and his team will come in and take it to the next level. You know, for those whoever that it's okay if you don't have knowledge for now, you know, all this you can pick it up in YouTube. Like 5-10 minutes, you already know what this is all about. What is Metaverse? What is NFT and stuff like that, you know. So the reason why I'm sharing this is I think this is a golden opportunity, Jun, for you guys to do something, your own artwork, you know, and then get paid. You know, you get paid, you know, for showing your craft, you know. So yeah, please take this opportunity, and all the details later we can just share the link.
Someone in the group chat actually shared the links. I think this a very nice person actually shared it. So yeah, here you go. So there's Mitoworld platform. That's
cool. All right.
Digital asset onboarding, and also the grant detail. I think that there should be the 3 key things that you should need to take a look. I think just further enhance I think some things that Mo had mentioned. So the first phase is the NFT submissions. So they open up to everyone, all the Malaysian, any companies, any brands who have a certain artworks IP they would like to, you know, bring them to the NFT world. But ultimately, everything that you guys are crafting, the projects and the business plan, have a tie into the Metaverse element, because there's more exciting grants coming out in the phase 2 and phase 3, right? For phase 1 is NFT grant, and also the second part of phase 1 is a digital asset creation grant, whereby you will be given, I think, another 20,000 to create a digital asset, and all these digital assets will be enable you to put into the Metaverse platform or your own metaverse and essentially promote your IPs or your brands or your product, right? So if you are very fortunate and you're very good in your proposal planning, your metaverse plan, then you could get selected to stage 2, right? And I think the journey doesn't stop there. I think there's like another two programs. It's all about metaverse. So you'll be giving this opportunity of up to 100,000 to be your own metaverse. Of course, with a marketing plan to push out your products. So don't worry, even though I think you guys are still studying from different perspective, different school, I think after these sessions, I think we will send an email to everyone to see how we can potentially be part of a journey, to just sit on a meeting to discuss, what actually you guys can start planning the metaverse end, because the metaverse grants and the metaverse programs moving on next year, and that you're going to announce is much bigger, and that's where that we can do more exciting things together with all the different artists and all the different creators in this Zoom meeting link lah. I think we're happy to share more when the links come out, and we will do another blast of email sessions to really link up with everyone after this lah. I think maybe we can go through some of the questions here, since we're talking about NFT.
Why hasn't Pentas established a platform for exhibiting artists despite having a diverse range of artists, considering the absence of recent exhibition and the potential collaboration with national exhibitors? How does Pentas plan to share?
Okay, these are very long questions.
and not just one question.
Yeah, I think it's 3 questions in total.
Okay, let me just try to tackle the exhibiting.
Okay.
So, basically answer that question, right? So, whenever the artist crafted their craft and they minted, so technically they already have their own virtual gallery, so to speak, right? So, technically what we do is that when we have something called featured creator. Whenever you go on Pentas, right? There's a small box. If you scroll down a little bit, we have a featured creator. So this is how we pick it up to promote the creators, So this is like sort of like we do it bi-weekly, sometimes in every fortnight, So this is one of the way that we are pushing the artists, where basically their craft. That's one. And sometimes, occasionally, whenever we have like invitation for a talk, we normally will rope in the creators as well. If the creators are quite active, we will extend invitation to them, so that like this, for example, right? Sometimes we will bring in the creators as well, so that they can share their experience, also their perspective as well. That is the effort that we from Pentas. And also the last one is, how does Pentas plan to shape its future and enhance opportunity for artists? Okay, basically, again, when we talk about Pentas, it doesn't only, although it's named Pentas, but it doesn't only address the local crowd. If I may share this one information, when you have a platform, you can see where the traffic coming from. Although that we are Web3, I may not know who comes in, because it's based on your wallet. I don't know who is behind the wallet. It's not anonymous, but it's pseudo anonymity. That means you only know someone up to that wallet address, and that's it. It can be a group of people and stuff like that. But what we know is that when we have a graph, the traffic from the Google Analytics, that we have a traffic apart from Malaysia. The largest traffic apart from Malaysia is actually North America, US in particular. And then after that you have from Australia, and then we have from, of course, our neighboring country, Philippines, Indonesia, this is our target market and audience. So technically, when you already on Pentas, you already have the world center stage. Actually, of course, we may not be as popular as big as OpenSea, for example, but we have a sizable market size as well as a traffic and also an optic. So I will always like to give this example, Jude. People always ask, what's the difference between you and, because we already have other marketplace. I say, okay, there's Uber, but there's also Grab. And then there's Grab, but there's also Gojek. So we would like to position ourselves as the Grab to the Uber, or the Gojek to the Grab. So this is just to simplify the understanding of what Pentas' role is, and we believe that we've been doing this not long, almost 3 years now, but we are proud in the sense that we managed to assist some of the creators to be known in the international stage, you know. Of course, after that, they don't just stay at Pentas. They have their virtual gallery at other platforms as well. But it doesn't matter. You know, what matters is that we are able to produce local talent, you know, to serve the world market. I think that is the ultimate, Jun, right? We want our product or our talent, you know, to serve world market. You know, not just Petaling Jaya, not just Selangor, not just from Perlis to Sabah. You know, so I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, I think from you know, outsider perspective, right, I think before I get to know more, I think when I heard about Pentas, it's actually quite a very, very good initiative, right? Imagine you yourself have to go to like other platform to kickstart the whole journey. Actually, it's not easy lah.
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah.
Come to think about it, you have to think about NFT, go to the platform, wallet, and everything. If you go to Pentas, the process is so much more seamless and so much more easier. You can just mint straight away, right?
And then UI is more.
Yeah, the UI is more friendly as well. If I go to like other platform, I'm like, what the hell can I get started?
Yes. Where do I?
Yeah, where do I press? It's just not so nice in UI UX design. And I think Pentas also done an amazing job. I think
Thank you,
launching the MDEC grant together. I think this is just opportunities that, you know, Pentas has really worked out with for the Malaysian communities and also for Malaysian businesses, artists, to really kickstart the ball rolling into the NFT world, right? I think it's not just one grant. I think it's a few more grants that, you know, MDEC will be working closer with other parties like for Pentas, like us, VTF, and also other key stage players that in the NFT scene and the Web3 scene and the Metaverse scene, right? From there, I think we will see more and more opportunities and more like really new things that we can really explore, not just with Malaysian artists, but also whoever want to kickstart the journey in these new technologies lah. Okay, maybe we go to other questions. So the second question is, what if other people mean other artists' works, and how do we solve the problems, right?
Okay, this is very simple. So hypothetically speaking, I steal Jun's work, you know, and then I mint it, you know. And then Jun saw. Jun obviously know that's his work, you know. So he can go to the picture, right? There's a small button there that Jun can actually flag.
Yes.
And then of course, if Jun flag, then we will reach out to Jun. He needs to also show us proof that it's actually his work, you know. So maybe he has one or two draft, you know, to back his claim. You know, cannot just simply strike off just like that, you know, because it's not fair, you know. It could be like, I just wanna, this is so nice, but I'm gonna spoil this guy. I'm gonna flag this artwork, you know. So we gotta be fair to both parties, the creator and also whoever that brought the complaints. But we made it easier for you guys, you know. Just go, there's a small click one button, you know. Then then we will look up into that. I hope that's answered the question.
Yeah. I think the functionality, just like if you go to YouTube and you've watched something that, you know,
vulgar, not safe for work.
You just click the button, and then YouTube as a platform, they will do his things to actually remove the content. It's actually quite straightforward. Okay, then we have another questions. What big changes happening to NFT sector that less people are talking about it within the next 2 years, especially with the expected new bull market? Is it still a collectible Metaverse GameFi item like RWS or digital IDs?
Okay, Tuan Burhanuddin. Okay, this is a good question. Thank you for this. The reason I said so is because this person, when he asked, like, is it still collectibles or Metaverse, then he expand to the games, RWAs and digital IDs and stuff like that. So it shows that he has somehow a very good knowledge, you know. So thank you. Okay, basically it's beyond that. This is one of the things that I always tell people, Jun. NFT is beyond digital art, you know. And as of today, yes, we talk about that so that it will be more simplified and within the topic, so that people are not confused, you know. And then we don't want you to give too much to think, you know. But then having said that, yes, the utility of NFT can use beyond just an artwork. You know, you can come up with your own collection, not just for as a digital collectible. It can be used as a parse. It can be used as a, for example, if you have a golf club, for example, right? The membership, you can use NFT as a membership. You know, Jun, he's quite good in organizing event. You know, he wants to organize a concert, for example. You know, he can curate that NFT to be the concert ticket. You know, It can be just one-time use, so it can be like that, So to answer that question, for NFT sector, it will be growing and it's still growing, despite not so many people talking about how it was used to be talked about.
Yep.
But then if you look at market cap, you'll be surprised. I think right now, maybe you guys can Google quite quickly about, let's just talk about the blue chip, which is BAYC. This project, right? I think the market cap value of this project more than 200 billion. So that is a lot of money, So that is a lot of money for one NFT project. Of course, yes, that is the best, that's the blue chip. But the reason why I'm using that as example to show that, you see how far can it get. That's the market cap of that, if they liquidate everything, so that's huge, Jun.
Yes.
So NFT is beyond digital art, the functionality is exactly, but I think the next, I could be wrong, but the next, I think, trend, Jun, I think, will be Metaverse and gaming, so this will becoming, I guess, normal moving forward when it comes to gaming and Metaverse for everybody to use NFT, because you need to have that digital, you want to own this digital ownership, So with NFT, you own that digital, so this is very important, key factor, I think, Jun, to grow the NFT sector. I hope I answered the question.
I think to tap on more explanation, I think what do we see is some of the NFT technology really being used by a lot of big brands. Some of the brands we mentioned, like Starbucks, as well as I think BAYC also created kind of like IPs and the old Metaverse, kind of like a game. But I think moving forward in the recent, I think last couple of months, I think we see someone like Pizza Hut, like Wendy's, Papa John, even all these.
Even our KFC.
Even our KFC is also like touching NFTs, and they are creating a new sort of like business model within it. So obviously, I think NFT is still a pretty new thing, but a lot of big brands, you try to like figure out. I mean, big brands usually move quite slow lah. But when they touch on NFT, definitely they will create like a business model that makes sense. So with that, I think we really believe that this technology will be more and more different use cases created within the next 2 years, and hopefully it's not just within like collectible Metaverse GameFi. But if I'm going to pick like some of the key trends that we're seeing, is definitely Metaverse, gaming, or even some of the loyalty perspective that people are using NFT to really enhance the whole customer retention and loyalty programs lah. It's something that's, I think, from our perspective, that I think we do see some of the trends there. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. I think there's quite limited of time. Maybe we can just go through some of the other questions. Maybe just one last question, then we move on to the Metaverse discussion. Then we'll come back here to the question again lah. Okay, so the third question is from Zhao Jie. In the era of media interference, technological interactions, some media technology has become archaeological documents and fossil with other technology have become underlying structures and constantly updated. Can you please share your view on future trend of media developments and the value of media technology from the perspective of media archaeology?
Okay, I can take this. First thing first, I'm not a media guy, but we have spoken to a numbers of a company or organization that own IPs. When I say IPs, I'm talking about musics. I'm talking about digital content. So basically, they are from TV people, who owns I don't know how many millions hours of digital content. So from this perspective, I may not be an industry person when it comes to particularly media, that involvement with NFT, I can talk about NFT from the digital side. But what I'm aware of and was told by these people, the meeting that we had the previous June, is that they see this as something that is lucrative, something that is so valuable, because the discussion that we had with them is about how they're going to monetize. Because you see, when you a media people, you a producer, you have the royalty things and stuff like that, right? So these are the things, the angle they are looking at. They of course, everybody want to monetize.
Yes.
So from their perspective. From the media player perspective, that means it can be the what do you call that? People who publish musics, and people who produce films. This is very good for them. you know, because instead of just royalty system that what they have right now, and if they can embed NFT in it, you know,
there'll be different things.
Yeah, we know how NFT works. You know, you can embed it your royalty, you know, and it's perpetual. You know, so to answer that question, yes, this is very valuable, and from my own opinion and perspective, they love it. You know, media people love it, especially those producer.
Yes.
You know, those record label, they love it. They love it. You know, it's just that maybe it's not as mature right now, but you guys can Google this one producer who actually produced his film by using fund from NFT. He split out first. Yeah, he collects basically he sell the pieces to collect the fund and produce the movie, and then he give back a certain percentage to those who collects that technically who fund him via the NFT. Yeah. You know, so things are already happening. Maybe not at the larger scale, but it's happening. Yeah.
Yep. I think I also not a media person. I think nobody here is a media person. But obviously, media and entertainment is one of the biggest industry out there. Right? I think it's been one of the oldest industry that proven quite lucrative. I think if you really create like great music, great movie, obviously I think you make tons of profits, and it's very hard to just introduce like a new technology and just kind of change the whole industry. I think Rome wasn't built one day. I think also take some step back to how we can actually evolve the whole industry with the technology of blockchain, NFT, etc. But what NFT kind of perspective, I think Mo had mentioned some of the projects have been using NFT to do fundraising. Essentially, whoever will hold the NFT holder, they can get like a first hands of like how this media are being drafted. I think same goes to some of the artists that are musicians are really using NFT to promote some of their music video. I think this is one of the way that I think what I personally are seeing the media industries are using NFT for. But I think moving forwards, I think with more and more like brands coming in, more and more initiative that not just the Malaysian government, but we've seen like Japan, Korea, China, they are really, really investing a lot of like huge money and resources, not just NFT blockchain technology. I think from there, I think we hope to see, I personally hope to see that, you know, how we can really empower this industry to grow further lah. I think hope I answer questions. I think that should be the last questions that we will take from now. I think we will dive into some of the Metaverse questions first before we continue the Q&A lah.
Okay.
Alright, thank you very much for the great discussion on NFTs. Now we are on to the Metaverse.
Yes, let's go.
So first of all, for June, so your company has created the Metaverse creation platform, Mitoworld.io. So would you like to share a bit more about the idea behind Mitoworld?
Yeah, sure. I think just quick introductions and quick like overview of what we do. So Mitoworld.io essentially we aim to become the Canva for Metaverse. I believe all the students should use Canva before to build PowerPoint slides, to build amazing posters, and do a lot of other media files, especially those from multimedia or design schools. So essentially, you know, when Canva started, like 10 years ago, like nobody really want to use like on the crowd solutions, right? They probably use like PowerPoint slide or maybe like a Word document most of the time to produce like viral presentable materials. But sooner or later, when people are much more well-versed in the current digital technology, people start using, hey, if I can use like Google Docs, use Canva, maybe other like similar solution to build my own like presentation slide, my material is actually way easier. So with a similar concept that I think we want to become the next big thing in terms of like building Metaverse and empower anyone to build a 3D virtual place at any given point of time in any part of the world. So that's how we started the journey to build up our own platform, Mitoworld.io. And since then, I think we just launched the platform, I think earlier of the year, somewhere in March. We do an amazing launch. I think MDEC initiate our launch. I think Mo also there. He's a very, very good friend, and he also supported us through the very beginning. We have been very fortunate to work with I think close to like 1,000 over creators. Actually, we have more than 2,000 metaverses have been published on our Metaverse because it works just like a Canva. It's actually a freemium model. Anyone can go into our platform. They can create a Metaverse easily and seamlessly. I think that's how we started. I think we are a bunch of like creators and also a bunch of like tech enthusiasts. I think we really want to empower the Metaverse technology and also to empower creators, brands, and anyone who wants to step into a new technology called Metaverse lah. So that's kind of like the journey of us starting Mitoworld. And I hope you guys try the Mitoworld yourself after this session. I think you will be quite amazed by some of the features that we have. We really create a metaverse with no code. I think it's quite an amazing thing that I think with a lot of different university students also, they find it quite useful lah. So do try it out later after the sessions.
All right, thank you very much for sharing. So can you share with us more on how the Metaverse can help to enhance immersive experiences for users?
I think first of all, I think there's a few, when we talk about Metaverse, right, just to give you guys an overview, right, very funny that we actually started off as like a Metaverse developer before we launched our own platform. So we went to brands like Nestle, Cellcom, Maxis, DG, or ByteDance. When we try to pitch the technology of Metaverse, right, everyone just keep asking me, hey Jun, what is Metaverse? Is it like a game? What are you pitching game to Nestle, DG, Cellcom?
Is it a new game?
I don't need game, man. I sell like SIM cards or internet plans. So that essentially is not really helping lah. So that's how we try to bring out the benefit of Metaverse. Essentially, it's a 3D environment, and what you can experience it. If you watch the movie Ready Player One, you become an avatar, go into a 3D environment, and you can do things quite freely lah. But when we build the Metaverse, of course, we have dedicated user journey from A to Z, what you will experience, you actually design it nicely really lah. So from there, with the immersive experience that you can experience compared to any other digital solution out there, and also I think the gamifications that we build in the Metaverse really I think we really invite and attract user coming in lah. So that's why brands like that work with us like Nestle, Omega Watch, ByteDance, Highly, and recently with the Malaysian government as well as some of the overseas government also kind of work with us to create a whole new journey in the virtual world that can really learn about how they can engage with their customer or target audience differently lah. So that's how we really empower people to join the Metaverse journeys lah.
Alright, okay, thank you very much. So are there any specific projects or collaborations that you find particularly noteworthy in the current landscape?
I think the most recent projects that is worth bringing out here is actually we are working very closely with MDEC. I think they are doing a project called Meta School. Basically, we invite teachers or maybe lecturers from university, from high schools. They can use Metaverse technology to teach their syllabus lah. So imagine normally you go to high school, it's like blackboard, then you open textbook, it's like pretty standard thing. But right now, what you can do is the teachers can use the Metaverse to put, like, for example, the physics, the maths, the economic, or some other like materials they want to teach the student in the Metaverse. So everyone can
more interactive, right?
Yeah, more interactive, more fun as well lah. Imagine you go to school and say, oh, I'm going into the virtual
better
world.
Engagement with the students, right?
Yes. So we kickstart kind of like some testing phase lah with MDEC and a few schools. And hopefully we can bring this technology to nationwide lah. But again, to do nationwide project it's quite difficult to start. That way you start small first.
Just so you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, gotta start somewhere. Just like having this grant. I think everyone please start somewhere first, including your NFT project or Metaverse project. So with that, I think we find it quite meaningful lah. At the same time, I think when we go to schools and enable teachers use Metaverse to teach like all the like young generations lah, they really learn differently lah. We collect feedback in a very, I would say, prudent way. We just ask everyone, hey, are you guys like using Metaverse differently? Do you learn like more proper way? Do you actually enjoy the whole sessions? The feedback actually quite good lah. So we're very hopeful that we can continue a journey not just together with MDEC, but also together with the Ministry of Education, and also maybe work with some of you guys here to bring in your IPs, your product into the scenes, right? I think that's something that exciting that I think will be driving the whole industry forward, not just Metaverse, but also hopefully the NFT, the blockchains, and the whole Malaysian digital economy. It'll be very great. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So when we talk about the Metaverse, we're also thinking about kind of merging the physical aspects and bringing it into the virtual world. So in your opinion, how successful is the current integration of real-world elements into the Metaverse, or is there any improvements that you think can be made?
I think my dream answer is I can just wear a VR headset and go into the virtual world. Just like I think a lot of anime that portray that kind of like a setting, and also Ready Player One. essentially you wear a VR headset and you go into a virtual world. You can basically like drive like a Gundam or a robot and try to save the world. That is
very engaging experience, right? Yeah.
Like straightforward experience. I just become a virtual avatar and in the whole new world. So that is, I would say, the best experience that you can ever get in terms of like experiencing life differently in the virtual setting, right? But unfortunately, I think today's world is not that straightforward. You cannot straight away go to the virtual world entirely. But what we are seeing is there's a lot of more like what we call like a VR product coming out. Of course, now it's still quite pricey. Like if you want to own one, probably like more than 1,000 ringgit or so. And then with Apple coming their Vision Pro product also, it's a very chunky, kind of like a little bit mix of AR technology really. If you wear it, then you can kind of see through the physical world, but also you can blend in some of the digital element into the AR headset that Apple is launching out. So from there, I think if eventually the hardware itself is becoming much cheaper, much accessible, this is where that we will see it will be a tipping point or maybe the turning point of how Metaverse technology can empower or maybe enable more people to try it and experience differently lah. But for right now, because of the hardware limitations, it's still quite expensive, right? So what we are trying to do is we're trying to go out and educate the market. Hey, maybe we start with the web-based or mobile-based Metaverse first, because everyone have like mobile, they can access web anytime, anywhere of the world. So let's start with that first, and can actually essentially solve some of the pain point that the brands that work with us seamlessly and easily lah. So that is still some limitation in terms of hardware, some limitation in terms of like how much you can do in the virtual world. Of course, you cannot just replicate what you do in real life completely, 100% to the virtual world. But in terms of some of the things that we can do in the virtual, like e-commerce, we can do that. Meeting room, we can do that. Like collaboration, chit-chatting, talkings, as well as I think recently we've done a lot of events as well, like career fair events. So that I think we are seeing a lot of like people, not just our customer perspective, but a lot of big brands globally have been utilizing Metaverse to actually unravel the whole opportunities lah. So limitation, yes, but opportunity is actually way more. So we are more excited to see how, you know, bringing more NFT projects, more IPs into the Metaverse through the MNEC run. I think there's something very exciting that we want to work closely with you guys and with Pentas in the next coming years.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right, thank you very much for the useful insights. So for the next questions, because we have been talking a bit about user-created content also. So how do you think user-created content or contributions can impact the development and the richness of the Metaverse?
I think UCG is always a big thing. I think a lot of like games actually empower the UCG elements. For example, I think Fortnite, you can actually build something while you're playing games. Like Minecraft, even Roblox also enable you to build it and try to monetize it, right? So for the Metaverse perspective, right, if you're going into a Metaverse platform with your own digital asset, so definitely I think you can find an avenue to advertise your product, advertise your IP, as well as advertise your own personal brands. So that's how we see that, you know, how this user can generate content. But if you would like to allow your fans, your community to really think about, hey, if you want to create my own like 3D asset, can I place in your world? Of course, with the permission of the Metaverse world owner, you can actually enable that. And through our platform, I think we can do that as well, but we probably need to do some tweaking at the back end. But with other platforms that we're seeing, like for example, Roblox, Minecraft, they kind of like have the Metaverse element. It's like an open world concept, right? And they know that, you know, UCG content is kind of like a necessity for all the gamer industry. So they enable it, right? But when we come to Metaverse, yes, you can enable it, but it's not that straightforward yet. But moving forward, I think we'll see more technology advancement in this sector, and because with more user, with more, I think, people utilizing the Metaverse technology.
Eventually, you create more engagement,
yes,
right?
create more engagements. Because gaming, again, is one of the longest industry. They have the infrastructure ready, they have resources ready, but Metaverse still in the early days. That's why in the moving forward, I think we can see this will happen very, very quickly, hopefully in the next 3 years. And then we will see how this can empower and enable more and more creators and more users to collaborate with each other in terms of UCGs, sort of like things.
Alright, thank you very much. So we do have a lot of students joining us today. So just asking for the students, let's say they're interested to be in the Metaverse industry. So what do you think are the skills and knowledge that they need to have to be involved?
I think we also done a lot of workshop with different university just to talk about metaverse as a terms. I think when we are starting our own company doing metaverse, I think surprisingly we received a lot of like inquiries and a lot of interest from the university side, but not for the student side. I think, for example, maybe the faculty want to do a metaverse. Like the dean of the department say, hey, you know, metaverse is really cool, but I want to empower my students to learn more about it. So we started doing a lot of workshop, starting from UiTM. I think always being our very, very great friend, very, very great partners that work closely with us to enable us and let us to do workshop. I think thanks so much, you know, Dr. Hussein, I think Ponora, and I think Pon City also in these sessions. I think really thanks to all you guys to bring us to the university, right? So how students and how like, you know, creators can start involved in the metaverse end, right? They can essentially, you know, bring up some of the projects that they've done, whether it's like the FYP project, whether it's their artworks. And imagine you go into maybe like a design artist like interview, right? Just imagine you sending a CV yourself, or maybe send them a Google link. So what if you can send a metaverse link to your future employer? I think that will be very much more interesting. So employer can go in the metaverse and they can browse your like IPs or your products or maybe your artworks or final projects in a 3D setting.
Your gallery,
Yeah. Instead of them open one by one, going through the Google Drive or what, I think going in the metaverse makes more sense and really help you stand out. So that's the first point. I think every student should take part of this benefit of a platform and use it. Then second part is, of course, with this coming out new grant, right? How essentially you can, you know, come up with your own projects. Of course, we'll think a bit more like what are the utilities, what things you want to do metaverse. From there, with the help of this project, it can help you do kind of like a minor fundraising to really think about, okay, how exactly you can bring your IP to the next level. But the metaverse is just one angle to help you to promote your IPs, your arts. I mean, moving forward, you can use this opportunity that, you know, who knows that in the next stuff coming, if the metaverse really attract your interest from not just your fans, from the community, or from the Malaysian perspective, you can actually bring your own IP, the product, to nationwide or maybe to Indonesia or other type of markets, right? Just like some of the amazing IP that we have, like I think Upin Ipin, any Monster. There's like I think a few more like Pola Kampung. So those IPs usually start from smaller. They created their own like artworks first. Usually start from like maybe the comic. Then sooner or later they become like huge IP that have been generating a lot of views, a lot of like revenue as well as a big fan base lah. So that's how, you know, MDEC would like to work with the Pentas and also VTF to really empower more and more people coming out to create their own IP and essentially make this IP globally recognized and also essentially create more avenue from there lah. So that's how I see that, you know, you as a student doesn't stop there to dream big. With the, you know, power of this grant, I mean the power of Pentas.io platform and also our platform, essentially can help you kickstart the first step lah. Imagine those days when they started their own IP, they have usually nothing. Right? I think we have a lot of opportunity, a lot of tools. So please, I think utilize all these tools that you have. But again, if you have any question, that you can feel free to reach out to us via website, via LinkedIn. I think Mo's is always very active on LinkedIn. You can ask him many questions on my perspective, so you can also ask us a lot of different questions lah. So I hope we answer these questions.
All right, thank you very much. So for the final question about the metaverse. So how might the concept of the metaverse continue to evolve and what potential breakthroughs could shape its future?
I think the metaverse, and again, I think I mentioned the limitations. Like one of the things that I think we are pushing out is a web-based metaverse first, because hardware is still a little bit hard to get accessible. So moving forward, a few interesting projects that we're working on right now. We are imagine you joining the workshop right now, our session right now. You're joining just through Zoom. What if we can actually do it in the metaverse? Not to say we cannot, we actually can do it in the metaverse, but again, it involves some cost We don't want to like just do it in the metaverse and let everyone go in. But it will be so much more fun if they can. You know, me and Mo, we go into the metaverse and imagine it's like we're standing in the middle of the metaverse and we're giving talk, we're sharing slides. I think the whole section will be much more, I think, interactive and more interesting. And these are things that we're actually exploring with a few brands to enable that. I think with some of the government agencies as well, they want to conduct training in the metaverse. So imagine trainer, usually they go to Zoom Teams to do training, right? Now they can use metaverse to do training. It's so much more, not just from the cooler perspective, it's more fun and it actually attract more like people to go through the training program, right? And this is one perspective. The other perspective, like we are seeing a lot of like I think our neighboring countries, Hong Kong, Singapore, Indonesia, Japan, Korea. I think their government is really pushing the whole metaverse technology to the next stage, right? They're coming out like grants, policy, and also different initiative to let people realize, hey, metaverse is actually a very powerful technology that not just big brand can use. You as a creator also can utilize it, right? I think what we've seen in Japan, like they actually enable all the banks, like Maybanks, HP banks, but all the banks in Japan, they actually will have a metaverse counter very soon, because they know that the future generations, they no longer want to go to the physical branch.
And they prefer this kind of engagement, right?
Yeah, they prefer this kind of engagement, just like how Roblox got really famous for Nikes. Nobody want to go to the physical branch anymore.
Right.
They know the trend is there, so that's why government is pushing it very, very hard to bring this technology out there, so that moving forward, all upcoming generations, they can utilize the technology in an effortless way lah. So these are some of the things that I think we are seeing the whole industry is empowering the technology, and more different use cases is coming out to empower consumer to use it lah. I think that should be some of the exciting that I think we should share today. Okay, I think that should be all the metaverse questions. So maybe we can go through the questions again. Okay, so these are the first question for metaverse. So with metaverse educator, students are utilizing dynamic tools as opposed to conventional method. Any instruction, training, workshop to pedagogy that metaverse furnished for educator to implement it? I think to answer yes, so we have been doing this project with MDEC. I think MDEC selected one university to work with us. I think they are like pedagogists. So they want to work with us to say, hey, is it really useful for students or teachers to use the metaverse? And how do we empower this analogy like a pedagogy to let students learn the material themselves? So all these studies actually are being done with this first phase of POC with one university, right? I think moving forward, we are very open to work with other universities to do their study themselves, not just for their, maybe for the PhD perspective, from the research paper perspective. We're also quite open lah. So is there any opportunity that I think you have in ideas, have in mind? Of course, from our perspective, we have the resources, we have the data, and also we have a technology that how we empower someone like yourself from the education's end that can utilize metaverse and come up with meaningful results and also meaningful research work that can actually prove that metaverse is actually a very powerful technology. I think we can do introduction workshop with you separately. Just have to write into us, and my team will actually follow up from there lah. Okay, any other more questions? Okay, I think that should be one last questions for today. So maybe before we wrap it up, maybe we really share a bit more to recap on the MDEC program that we mentioned.
All right. Okay.
So I think this MDEC program has opened, I think, somewhere in this month, right?
This month.
December, early December,
8th
8 December, and we will open up. The first phase will open up until 8 January.
Yep.
So there's still quite a bit of time for everyone to really look into
to submit,
to look through the documentations, look through some of the plan that you want to do and you want to achieve, utilizing your artworks, your final projects, and also maybe your own IP or maybe any other thing that you want to bring to the Metaverse and NFTs. So do check out Pentas website. I think someone have listed down the link. If not, we will send a follow-up email.
Yep.
So everyone can actually understand.
There's a link. Maybe we can just copy-paste the link again.
Maybe just copy-paste the link again and put it into the Zoom chat. So do check it out about this program. I think I think Pentas side starts seeing some application coming in already.
Yes.
So do make a quick move. Don't get loose out. And if you guys have any questions that you want to ask, like Mo and myself, feel free to write into us. And I think after this meeting, we will send in like a message or EDM to pass to everyone. If you want to work closely with us and together with Pentas as well, I think we are quite open. I think we can actually maybe do some advisory, maybe really look through some of the plan that you have and also give some comments lah. Because we really want to push this technology out there lah. Of course, with all you guys to come in, I think definitely will make it more amazing and to push the whole industry moving forward lah. So that should be it. I think any last word for Mo?
Right, for me, as simple as don't waste this opportunity because it doesn't require a lot of effort from your end actually. You just go on the link that we have given, the digital asset onboarding, you click on that, you know, you just register yourself, and then I'm sure that all of you guys have already ongoing project, so just proceed with your utilizing your current ongoing project, just participate, you know, just submit your project, and then stand a chance to claim up to 4,000, you know. Even if you don't, there's three part of it. The first part is 2005, whereby you completed the poster, you submit and you minted the poster. And second part, if you go and file for IP, which is at my IPO, claimable up to 1,000 ringgit. And then if should you promote utilizing, for example, you hire influencer, for example, or you pay Google Ads to promote your particularly project, and then you can just submit with us the receipt, and then it's claimable again up to 500 ringgit. So at least, I say, at least you get to claim 2,005 June, or plus that 500. Even if you doesn't want to do the IP, you still get to claim up to 3,000. So I think it's a good opportunity for you guys. And if you guys are selected, right, then you guys have a bigger check that you can claim later on using all this Metaverse by Mitoworld. So I think this is a good opportunity. Use this as your so-called trampoline, your jumping stone into a Metaverse and NFT world. You know, for me, this is a good opportunity, and it's not. I think it's not often that people pay you for your artwork.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
like I mean, even without you selling it,
Yes.
you know, so to speak, right?
Yes.
I mean, of course, you will put it in a marketplace and stuff like that, but still, you know, it's a good opportunity, and it's a good portfolio to start with, you know, as a student, especially for you to have this kind of portfolio. I think this will help you on later on in your career as well. You can you can showcase your project, you can showcase your NFT project, you can showcase your Metaverse project. So I think this will give you an edge in your industry. All right, I guess that's all. And thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I think have an amazing evening, and hope everyone learn more about the programs, about NFT and Metaverse. And I guess the session should be end here.
All right.
Thank you very much, everyone.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All
See
right.
you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.